¿Qué tranza, mi gente? We are back on another episode of LatiNation Football Club, and I'm here with Nik Z, El Chiva Mayor, and I'm broken. My heart is in pain. Lástima, Margarito. No championship for Pumas, my friends. It was a tough game, pero no se armó. No se armó la octava. Congratulations to Cruz Azul. Pumas la Cruz Azuleó. My friends.
Oh, you're being a good sport about it.
I'm being a good sport because my team did everything they could. They had a good tournament. They played the off-season with a lot of grit, a lot of garra y corazón. Unfortunately, the reality is that Pumas is a short team, that the moment that they had an injury on the field, there was no reaction to that, and they were forced to bring on experienced players like Antuna and destroy the game plan completely. Let's break it down, my friends. The game was on Puma's side all night long. They had everything that they needed. Cruz Azul was the offensive powerhouse, as we all knew that it would be. Pumas had been training for 5 games at this point on how to develop a defensive game plan, hold the back, try to, surprise with Pantera, but it wasn't the case. They were not quite deadly up front, Chiva, and that's the reason why Pumas no es campeón.
There is a lot of reasons why Pumas is not campeón. One of them being the fact that Fren Juarez was very criticized for not having a reaction. And to the people criticizing ¿cómo le decías? Aristóteles. I mean, how can he have a reaction with the limited team that he had? I mean, just finishing at first place, the fact that he made it to the final is already a lot for what the team had, Pumas, with all that respect. Most of it was garra, was corazón. And when you play a team like Cruz Azul that you can, turn to the bench and you're going to see a lot of really good players on the bench, it makes a difference. And then on top of that, you get a player like Antuna that, unfortunately for him, he hasn't done anything in any of the teams that he has played for. He goes in, gets that stupid red card right at the middle. Childish red card that there's a lot of controversy going on because the same ref did not give a red card to a Cruz Azul player in the Chivas game and a very similar play, even a more aggressive play. So anyway, mucha controversia. Sin Yolanda, at the end of the day, es que el amor es azul como el... Felicidades, Cruz Azul, felicidades.
Oh my God.
We can't blame the ref all that much. This is the same Pumas that I think it was Carrasquilla who tackled one of the America players against America and gave a stupid...
To your point, Carrasquilla was an enforcer throughout the game. And actually, little trivia, on the regular season, Cruz Azul versus Pumas, Carrasquilla had a horrendous foul on a Cruz Azul player, and he not even got a yellow card. He also had some very strong plays, but that is the role of Carrasquilla in Pumas.
I think Pumas was tired after an amazing season of playing absolutely great, staying at the top of the table the entire season and playing their you-know-what's off. But it came to the end, and I called it last week. I said this is a team that is going to have a different path as Cruz Azul, who struggled tooth and nail to get there. And unfortunately, for Pumas, Cruz Azul looked like they were falling apart. Let's be real, right before this, before the playoffs, before everything. This was a squad that was falling apart. They showed grit, they showed power, and they didn't have the same kind of, I want to say, you guys criticized me for this last time, easier path in the Clausura. And I think it showed in the end. It showed for Pumas, who looked a little bit more fatigued, a little bit more tired, and then put themselves in that position to make those silly mistakes, like what Carrasquilla did against America, what Antuna did here. I mean, these are mistakes that shouldn't have happened, and I think it comes down to them being a little more tired, a little physically less fit than Cruz Azul's side.
It was a tough cookie to swallow, my friends, porque la garra azul y oro está de luto. We should have won this final, but it wasn't the case. But now, saving graces for this tournament. The important thing here is that we have a final with two young Mexican DTs that are trying to set a new idea on how to build these teams. On one side, we have Cruz Azul that brings a legend like Wiki. He has this iconic play where he becomes a goalkeeper. La Muertiña del Muerto Wiki. Historical. Good for him. I think that I'm happy to see Wiki, getting his praises and getting his bag, because now he's probably going to get the true type of contract that he deserves for getting a championship a la máquina. And on the other end, we have Efrain saying that he will stay on the team, already making plans for the preseason. How important it is for Mexican football to have not only two Mexican DTs on the final, but also having Chivas and Pumas be some of the most standout teams in the season.
It's a bright future for the Liga MX, for Mexico in general. I was going to mention that Joel Wiki is a coach that comes in after Larcamón got fired because of the players not liking him. That's exactly what it was. Because, I mean, que tiene un muy buen plantel, Joel Wiki. I think that Wiki deserves an opportunity, not like Vicente Sanchez, that he won a championship for Cruz Azul, and 3-4 games that he didn't do that good, they fire him. I really hope that Wiki stays. I love what he did, even though, yeah, he had like a lot of good players. Tactically, what he did was very, very good to see. And Efrain Juarez, I mean, he comes from Colombia, winning 2 titles for Atlético Nacional. Now, I was going to say, Marcelino, be proud of your team, because with whatever they had, they made it to the final. Yeah, it was this close for them to win it, but overall, the fact that they make the final and that they're finding their garra back again, like you said, seeing teams like Chivas, Pachuca, Pumas, it's only good for the future of El Tri and La Liga MX in general.
Because those 3, my friends, are some of the most serious producers of young talent in Mexico. And if they are at the top of the standings, that means that young players are getting their chance. Now, let's look forward into the next tournament. Liga MX will look very different coming the next Apertura. Nik, Atlas is getting reinforced. Mm-hmm. Monterrey is revamping the whole squad. America will be revamping their squad. Atlas is going to be a reinforcement. How possible it is for Pumas to stay fighting for that title?
That's going to be tough. They're going to have to pick up pieces. It's always hard mentally when you come off of a loss and having a lot of pressure on you. There was really high expectations for Pumas going into this clausura. You've, I'm sure, felt it. We're going all the way, right? And that's how I think a lot of people felt. So now to pick up the pieces and move on, keep your chin up, and go forward, it's going to be hard. We're going to have to see what Efrain does differently. I'm really curious to see. What does a new, revamped, angry, pissed off America look like? These are a lot of unanswered questions that we're going to have to see. If this season was anything to go by, we can have absolutely no clue what next season is going to be like, because this was a total shocker of a season in a good way. It was amazing.
Sure. Now, Chiva, I mean, what can we expect from Chivas the next tournament? For me, Chivas is the team with the most pressure because they were able to advance all the way to almost the last round in the playoffs, but without 5 of their pillars, 5 of the players that made Chivas the second best team in the competition. What do you expect for Apertura?
For Chivas, I expect for them to win a championship. I think that there's no time. As a Chivas fan, Cruz Azul, a big team, already won one. America had 3 in a row. Atlas, our number 1 rival, 2 in a row, not too long ago. You got Toluca that is already, we have the same championships as them now, which is 12. It's a lot of pressure for Chivas. I love what they're building, the fact that it's a very young team. Key players that are going to come back to the team, and then not just that, the players coming from like Diego Ochoa, you know, que estaba en préstamo con Juárez, and all these other players coming to Chivas. I think Abraham Militos is going on the right path, but there's no time. There's no excuses. They have to win a championship now, and the pressure is going to be on them because, like I said, you got these other teams winning championships, and Chivas, pues, casi 10 años.
That's right. Now, we're almost done in this segment, my friends, but early predictions, looking forward into the future, who are your top 3 teams as best performers for the next Liga MX tournament?
I want to say that this is out of love. I would love to see Pumas staying up there. I want this to not be a one-off amazing season for Pumas. I don't want Pumas to slide back into being less of a relevant squad and thinking, oh, we had that one heyday back in the day. I want you guys to cement yourselves up there. There's no reason not to think that that's the case. As long as you guys stop tackling people down to the ground like it's NFL and stomping on people's ankles, you should be good. Number 2, Mis Águilas. I mean, just, you know.
Wow, Mis Águilas.
Yeah, I mean.
Órale.
Since day one, you know, before I could walk, America fan. You know,
Desde la cuna.
Desde la cuna.
That's always how it's been. So I see America doing well after a very lackluster season. Number 3, man, Cruz Azul's not going anywhere. I mean, that's just it. Those are my top 3.
There you have it, my friends, and those are Nik's predictions for the next Apertura. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, mass football right here on LatiNation Football Club.
The UIM Formula One World Championship Series. We are over the moon excited about the upcoming season.
Let's go.
10,000 horsepower roars off the dock.
Oh my, there's a problem.
On the outside, side by side.
And he's lost control of the book.
Hopes and dreams of winning here.
Yes!
Get ready for round one, the Regione Sardegna Grand Prix of Italy, May 29th to 31st.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
That's for Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
¿Qué tal, mi gente? We are back here on LatiNation Football Club, and we will continue with Nik Z and Chiva Mayor, and we're going to break down, my friends, the MLS, because MLS has come to the last match day before the World Cup break, and it was a festival of goals, my friend. I think it was one of the highest historical days for MLS. So many goals in the match day, Nik, Chiva. So much to talk about, but let's start with Galaxy, because Galaxy seems to start getting their footing. They are inching towards playoff contention, and finally they get a point out of their home, Houston. Nik, what's happening with Galaxy?
It's for us right now where we are, just kind of right there on the edge of playoff contention. Anything but a loss is going to be good. We want to stay within the realm of at least having a shot into the knockout rounds. So that was a really big result. We watched Houston do very well against LAFC and beat you guys. So, of course, you guys being a stronger team than us, that, of course, made us very nervous. But LA Galaxy able to hold our own, at least keep them to a draw. We were up 1-0. Unfortunately, we conceded later on. So, yeah. For now, it's okay. We're still there in 9th place, sitting pretty, and we got to take a break now. And when we come back, first match coming back is against LAFC, El Tráfico, so that's going to be fun.
Vamos a apostar,
Huh?
Vamos a apostar.
We're going to beat you guys
No, why are we going to, what's the bet?
What is the bet?
Well, I'm not shaving my head, or I can do it, but then not actually shave it like Marce did regarding Pumas. But no, I don't know.
Let's think about it.
Think about it.
Think about it. So,
think about
now, let's talk about Miami.
Sí.
Miami had a hell of a game, but there's a big, big dark spot to that victory, and that is Lionel Messi limping off the field with a substitution, grabbing the back of his leg 17 days before the World Cup. I'm pretty sure El Brujo Crespo is shaking his boots as I speak. Chiva, Miami seems to be gelling, finally, showing the firepower that they owe the league. But now, shadows and encumber the team. If Messi is in for an injury, he misses the World Cup, what happens to Miami?
I mean, he's not going to miss the World Cup. I think it was just a little, 6'4", Luis Suarez scoring a hat-trick when he can barely walk. Berterame finally delivering and DePaul for Miami. Of course, I mean, if I was a Argentina fan, I would be nervous because you never know what can happen, right? It could be a big injury, un desgarre. It could be 1 week. It could be 2 months. It could be 3 months. And the World Cup is around the corner. Miami is doing pretty good. I think with the results that they're getting, Es como una situación con Cruz Azul. They didn't like the past coach, and that's why now they're delivering. Now you got a player like Berterame that most likely is not going to go to the World Cup.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to be chosen by Javier Aguirre. But it's good to see a team like Miami that spends a lot of money, winning games.
Now, Nick, two teams that are really, really surprising to me on the Eastern Conference is Chicago and New England Revolution. These two teams that the last few years, they have not been protagonists at all. And now we see some of the most exciting football in MLS.
I love it, and I'm happy to see it. I would add one more to the list. A quiet team that doesn't get all that much attention. Obviously, they've been sitting at the top of the table, so we all know who I'm talking about. Is Nashville. Have been an absolute blast to watch. And I'm happy to not just see an East Coast that is just dominated simply by the Whitecaps and Miami. So, cool. We got these squads that historic clubs, right, that have been in the league for a very long time and haven't made such a big name for themselves lately. So it's cool to see them back up there. Chicago Fire, OG MLS team, dude.
Yep.
Nashville defeating New York 2-1 in the last match day. Now, Chiva, LAFC. Let's talk about LAFC because it seems that the team is in a transition process right now. The results are not quite what we're looking for, but Tillman came last-minute heroics with a victory against Seattle, which are always 3 points that are very welcome because Seattle is a difficult team to beat and has in the past made us very, very sad. Do you feel, tiempo, chavos, rumor has it that this game was the last game of David Martinez, La Joya Venezolana? That pains my heart. It will be awful for the team. Some comments on the social media world says that that's the end of play of contention for LAFC. That's how critical this player is for our team. Chiva, nobody knows more about what's happening inside LAFC than you. What's up?
What's up? We won. We beat Seattle. That's what's up. Without Hugo Lloris, we don't, MLS, they don't announce what kind of injury they have, how long it's going to take. Tillman, a player that has been criticized in the past month a lot, finally delivers for LAFC, which is something good to see. At the end of the day, the players are on social media. They read the comments. They see what people are talking about them. And having Tillman score a goal, the winning goal for LAFC, is healthy for the team. Now, with David Martinez, he's a player that we all knew that he was not going to, after playing good, he was not going to last too long with LAFC. Now, JT, you have a lot of work to do, man, because if Martinez leaves during the summer, you got to bring at least 3-4 more players because we are now struggling
in every line.
And now having Martinez leave the team, one of the only players that is delivering right now for LAFC is going to be tough. But we trust JT. You have always bring good players and es muy abierto en el tipo de jugador que quiere. Now, one thing that I got to mention, LAFC has to go back to bringing Latino players to the team. From South America, from Central America, from Mexico, you name it, but we need more Latinos in the LAFC team, and that's why we're seeing this shift of no more South Americans in LAFC, no more Mexicans in LAFC, or Central Americans. So hopefully this is an opportunity for the team to go back to those roots.
I thought of something we could do for the bet.
Oh.
Aye.
Well, you don't have hair, so we can't shave the heads. Mm-hmm. We both need our beards, because it's a big part of who we are. So I guess we have to shave our eyebrows.
La mitad, güey.
Yeah.
La mitad.
There we go.
Everything. Both.
No, not everything.
Como
La mitad.
Like Mona Lisa, just no eyebrows, just bye-bye.
And Kayla tries to give me
Or how about like a keg stand, like an upside down keg stand, live on air? Are we allowed to chug beer on TV?
We are allowed to.
They'll tell us.
Have it in the set.
La mitad de la ceja, half of the ceja right here.
Half of the ceja right here.
Okay, fine.
Right here, señores. Fine. We had it here in LatiNation Football Club. My friends, we are close to a break, but this is going to be an important process for MLS. We're going on a break, almost 4 weeks of a break. They will come back the weekend of the World Cup final, and most likely we will see a lot of new faces after the break. Don't forget, there is a summer signing window for MLS, and with the World Cup being here, a lot of international players might turn to MLS and say, you know what, guys? I kind of like it here in El Gabacho. So be ready for a lot of new names in MLS, my friends. Now, it is time for a break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, vamos a hablar de los campeones. There's a lot of new champions all around the world. We're going to break it down for you. NWSL todavía tiene juegos. Las muchachas juegan una semana más. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on LatiNation Football Club. Que tranza banda, we are back here on LatiNation Football Club, and I want to talk con Nik, el Chiva Mayor, y mi querido Alex Crespo about one of the most impressive football series tournaments that we've been able to witness here in Los Angeles, and I'm talking about Toma la Noche. This is a series that Nike LA has put together, and it has been amazing. We had games under the bridge, we had games at the beach, we had games on the hills, just to show who are the best 14 to 18-year-old kids, men and women, playing in Los Angeles. Futsal, street soccer, pure football culture. My friends, Alex, you've been to several of these events. Tell me, how cool are they?
I mean, these are really sick events. We are seeing a beautiful mix of music, fashion, football, and like if you're really into street ball, this is the place to be because you get it all.
That's right. Now, Nik, I know that you're very, very connected. Kids of Immigrants and Paisa Boys were two of the partners, fashion partners, that not only did drops for special collections in collaboration with Nike, but also brought their own audiences that are very heavily Latino and they're very involved with the culture in the city. How important is for soccer in the U.S. to use every avenue possible to bring new fans into the scene?
I mean, it's everything that the U.S. stands for, and we wouldn't have, let's say, a domestic league. We wouldn't have the kind of talent we have if it wasn't for immigrants, children of immigrants. In particular, if we're talking about Los Angeles and the whole country, Latinos, what do they do for our domestic league, for our national team, right? So it's indispensable. It's completely, awesome to see that Nike is staying with this sort of street ball theme. I mean, as a kid growing up in the early 2000s, we had like the Edgar Davids commercials with Eric Cantona and those cages and that silver ball.
The revival of T90.
And T90. And then after that, it was the Jogo Bonito days with Ronaldinho. Always Eric Cantona. Bring Eric Cantona back, man. Get him to one of these things. He's got to be like the ref or something or the announcer. But it's cool to see. No, it's cool. Culture,
like you said,
soccer, it's all together.
Nike has a historic relationship with football. Maybe not in the traditional sense. You have other brands like Adidas that are very well aligned with the 11 versus 11 scene of soccer. But Nike LA has been focusing very much on the street ball, which I feel is the most accessible version of it. Chiva, you do a lot of work to bring accessibility of the game to communities that normally wouldn't get this access. Why futsal and street ball are so important in developing new talent?
I mean, I was just going to mention, this is something that is going to change the culture of football in the United States, and not only for the United States, but also for the other national teams, Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, you name it. I think that the fact that they're trying to do what they do in Brazil, what they've been doing in Brazil for many, many years, el fútbol en la calle, street football is what has made that jogo bonito, el juego bonito. That's something that I'm very excited about. It's something to see Nike do these type of events and making it a culture. More than just the game, that is very important. The fact that it's a culture, that you have everything around it, music, the way you dress, et cetera, it just makes it a full, una conexión completa y lo convierten en una experiencia. But for me, the most important thing is that they are building this legacy of footballers for the future of not only the United States, but also the rest of the countries from the immigrants that live here in the U.S.
Without a doubt, because we've seen, Alex, we have young national team members from Mexico, from El Salvador, several countries from Central America, several under 17, under 15 U.S. national team players that are just grinding from 13, 14, 15 years old. They're already there in this tournament. And one of the beautiful things that you play the preliminary rounds during the day, but the finals are played at night with a full party atmosphere. With just let me drop some names for you. We had in the event that happened under the bridge, Chino Pacas perform for free for all these people, and then Kids of Immigrant says, hold my beer, and brings out not only Planta Industrial, one of the most up-and-coming bands in New York, this Caribbean reggaeton, dark goth sound that I really love. Shout out to Planta Industrial. But YG himself comes out and gives a free concert right in the pitch. Alex, how important is these cultural junctions for our game?
I mean, I think it goes to show that, the Kids of Immigrants is bringing out the message, and how is he doing it? Through football, whether it's fashion, music. I mean, they're bringing every aspect of it together. And with YG, you're obviously saying you need someone from LA to be here at an LA event, and it's just amazing to see how they're bringing this, because obviously this event's happening here, but the impact of it is going to happen throughout the nation.
That's right. We were so excited to be part of this. Big thank you to Nike LA for inviting us to all of these events, and we will be there on the final that rumor has it will be played inside of a pool. That's right, my friends. No water, no se asusten. But I feel like this idea of bringing the game out of their traditional spaces and give it to the people is what the football needs, and that's why we're so stoked with Nike. But it's time for us to go on a break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, más football. We have so much more right here in preparation of the World Cup, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on LatiNation Football Club. And we are back, my friends. This is LatiNation Football Club, and it's time for women football. That's why we have Camila Ortiz and Alex Crespo. The Gen Z squad is going to help me break down everything that is happening right now. Let's start with NWSL. That's right, because the league is heating up. We have great games. Camila, break it down for us.
Yeah, absolutely. This was such a great weekend. A lot of upsets. Were you guys able to catch any of the games?
Yes.
Definitely. I was able to watch Chicago Stars versus Bay FC, which ultimately ended up with Chicago winning 1-0 with a goal from Mallory Swanson. But then Bay FC, they got desperate. They got 2 red cards in this game with their goalkeeper getting one. And she was just like, she couldn't care less.
She shrugged it off. I mean, kind of the only response you can have. Another note, amazing goal from Mallory Swanson, and it's her first goal coming back from injury, so big news for her.
What is happening in NWSL right now? Why there are so many red cards this season? It's been crazy. Now, we'll get to that, Camila, because I want you to tell me. But I want to make a point. I want to celebrate that Orlando Pride, el equipo de Marta, that's right, they're back on the winning column after being able to defeat no other than
San Diego Wave.
That's right, San Diego Wave now falling to the 3rd place in the standings, and Orlando is building their comeback. They have a disappointing beginning to their season, Camila, but it seems like the magic is back.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking about winning, we have to talk about the Utah versus Denver game. Utah was able to get another win, extending their unbeaten stretch to 9 games, setting a new record for the NWSL, and they are currently sitting at first place. This is shocking because if we look just back at last season, 2025, they only won 6 games in the entire season. This is a crazy rebuild for Utah.
Utah is one of those teams that have proven that parity in the league is important. Every season we see new franchises actually making strides. But, Alex.
Another thing I want to mention is how close this table is, because one game will really set the difference. I mean, we were seeing Denver be part of the playoff rounds, and now with this loss, they went down a few spots, and now they're out of the playoffs.
I mean, let's go down the list on the standings. There's one more match day for NWSL. They will continue to play this upcoming weekend, and then they go on a month-long break for the World Cup. Camila, how are the standings looking right before this break?
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I'm the most surprised by the top 3. We have Utah, Portland Thorns, and San Diego Wave, of course. These are 3 teams that didn't really excel looking at last season, but we're really seeing so much parity within the league, right? The same teams that you saw winning, Orlando, Kansas City, dropping in the standings. So it's exciting as a fan, of course, to watch, but super disappointing. You guys know I'm an ACFC fan, and they are just not delivering right now.
Not delivering, that's right. They're dropping and dropping hard. They're in 11th place after holding up to the 3rd place in the standings at the beginning of the season. Same story, my friends. 4 games, perfect. A lot of goals, a lot of wins, the team really gelling. And little by little after that, it's down the hill. And now we continue seeing the most expensive, the most valuable team in the league continue to be out of playoff contention. They have never played a single playoff match, Alex.
I need to talk about the upcoming games, though, because I'm getting very excited for this weekend. We are seeing the 1st and 2nd place go against each other.
That's a
Portland
great
versus
matchup.
Utah. And, you know, we've been seeing a really good stride from Portland and Utah. So, you know, it's up in the air.
Match of the day, without a doubt. Camila, do you have a favorite to take the 3 points?
Oof, I don't know. I can't predict that. That's going to be a really hard match. Both of these teams are producing, you know, really strong attacking movement up top. And I think it's going to be really hard to beat.
Now, Kansas City is going to play Boston Legacy. This, in other circumstances, will be a very easy game to predict. You will say Kansas City. But do you think Boston might have an edge facing this weekend Kansas City side?
Honestly, I don't think they really have a chance. We have to think about Kansas City is playing at home. Kansas City has one of the strongest fan bases, and that's going to make a huge difference coming into this game, especially against a brand new team like Boston.
Another game that I'm really excited to watch is Gotham FC versus the Houston Dash that has been having a great season for their standard. Do you think Gotham, you know, as the current champions, might get the edge?
Well, listen, Gotham is currently sitting in 5th place. They're, you know, somewhat comfortable within the league. Houston got their first win in 53 days this weekend. So if they can ride that momentum, they were playing really well at the beginning of the season. If they can continue that, beating Gotham would be massive, especially for this point in the season.
Now, another big game, Chicago Stars versus San Diego Wave. This is an opportunity for San Diego to continue getting close to that first spot that they used to have. What's your prediction?
I think San Diego is going to take it 100%.
Oof.
Yep, it's definitely San Diego. I know that Chicago had that win, but...
Yeah, San Diego is a tough team. Now, let's move on to international competitions because just last weekend there was the final of the CONCACAF Champions Women Edition. And you have been, to the pain of my heart, supporting and predicting in favor of America, not only in Liga MX, the current champions, but also on the CONCACAF Champions. What happened this weekend in the international world?
Absolutely. This was such an exciting tournament. We got to see NWSL versus Liga MX finally to see which league is better. I've been kind of, you know, criticizing Liga MX for not having as much parity, but at the end of the day, they were able to beat them 5-3. America champions.
Champions, campeones de Liga MX y del continente. That's right. Mexican football continues to grow, and Liga MX trying to keep up with the NWSL when it comes to signing, when it comes to powerhouses, and when it comes to viewership, because let me tell you, it was just announced that Liga MX is the most watched women soccer league in the whole world, my friends. Pa' que se den un quemón, cómo nos la rifamos en la Liga Mexicana. But, Cami, there was an important game this week.
Yeah.
Probably the most important women game at the club level of the whole season. Champions League.
Absolutely.
Tell us about it.
This was such an exciting match. Very anticipated, but I'm going to let Alex take this one because I know he's very excited to talk about his favorite team.
Barcelona, of course they won this game because they're the best team in women's soccer. I'm going to say it right now. This is a team that, they've shown that they keep this, this structure throughout the season, winning every game by multiple goals, and it's just a landslide. But they beat León by 4-0 with 2 goals from Pajor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And this is a revolutionary game because we are seeing La Famosa Putellas, hang up the boots in La Liga. But who knows? She did hint a little bit to a move to MLS, Liga MX. She said it's going to be around here somewhere.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So, Camila, what was the critical moments of this game?
I mean, I think we have to talk about the consistency that Barcelona has had. They've won 4 out of the last 6 Champions League, and I think they really came back with the special momentum this year after getting kicked out last year by Arsenal. So I think they just really showed consistency, and that's what got them this far.
Now, they had some crazy results this season, like beating Real Madrid for multiple dozens of goals, which was scandalous if you think about it. But let's go big picture. What does it mean that we are looking at Champions League with record viewership on the women's side? We have Liga MX becoming the most watched league in the world. We have NWSL having some of the most valuable franchises in the world. What do you expect in the next 12 months as we head into the Brazil World Cup next summer?
Well, I'm expecting much more excitement about the women's game. I mean, if we look back just a year ago, 5 years ago, all these leagues have grown exponentially. It's been so exciting to see. Even here in the U.S., we see the U.S. women's national team outselling the men in jerseys, meaning that the women, they have the support of their fans at home, which is going to show up when it comes to the World Cup.
And for a quick preview of what the World Cup will come, this weekend, the U.S. national women team is going to play 2 games versus Brazil. Para que se den un quemón. Just a little sample of what is expecting us the next summer. I know we're all crazy this summer for the Men's World Cup, but in 12 months, we'll see the best players in the world battle it out in La Cuna del Fútbol, Brazil, my friends. But it's time for us to go on a break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, más football right here on LatiNation Football Club.
The UIM Formula One World Championship Series. We are over the moon excited about the upcoming season.
Let's go.
10,000 horsepower roars off the dock.
Oh my, there's a problem.
On the outside, side by side.
And he's lost control of the ball.
Hopes and dreams of winning here.
Yes!
Get ready for round 1, the Regione Sardegna Grand Prix of Italy, May 29th to 31st.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
That's for Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Sileo. Only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, my friends. This is LatiNation Football Club, and I got the gang here, and we're going to break down the champions of this season. That's right. As we come into the summer, most of the leagues come to their conclusion, and there's new champions all around the world. So we're going to go down the list of some of the most unlikely and no other winners of championship. And let's start in Argentina, my good friend Alex Crespo, because there's a first champion after 102 years. Belgrano becomes champion of Argentinian First Division and beating, who did they beat, Alex?
Como argentino y como de Boca Juniors, me encanta decir esto. Belgrano beat River Plate en el estadio Mario Alberto Kempes. And, you know, it was beautiful. This is a 3-2 victory that, you know, it was just amazing to see as a Boca Juniors fan because, you know, maybe we didn't make it to the final, but at least we didn't have that, you know.
You didn't have River winning.
And another thing I wanted to mention is how we have Leandro Morales score a goal for, a defender scoring a goal for Belgrano. This is an ex-River Plate hincha. So he was having a bittersweet moment with this, especially because, you know, he was saying that as a child, he was a River Plate fan, but then, you know, obviously Belgrano is the one that pays the bills at the end of the day. So he had a tattoo of River Plate, had to get it covered, and, you know, now he's a ride or die for Belgrano. So
he's a champion with Belgrano after 100 years, Chiva. How meaningful is that?
No manches, casi como el Atlas. It's 100 years. It's a lot of years. But let me tell you, River Plate, Belgrano is the nightmare for River Plate porque Belgrano también was a team that sent them a la B. Belgrano was a team that beat a la B.
Perdón.
A la B.
Perdón.
O sea, a la segunda división from Argentina. So that's why, you know, for River Plate, when they see the jersey de Belgrano, como que se espantan. Imagínate, they already take the championship away from them, and they also send them en su mancha más negra en la historia de River Plate a la segunda división.
And you know what team didn't go to La B? Boca.
Bueno.
Now, let's go all across the world to Europe, my friend, because there's some new champions. Nick, what are the most surprising championship winners this season?
Well, okay, if we zoom out a bit, I feel like Arsenal winning the EPL, I don't want to get ahead of myself with the Champions League yet. Winning the EPL was kind of a surprise. It's kind of like a redemption story for them. So I was pretty happy to see that. Who else? Inter de Milano coming back. Forza Inter coming back, winning Serie A. It's been a while since Inter, I would say, was like consistently dominating in the Serie A, so that was pretty cool to see. And then one less surprising one, and I think you'll agree with me, Alex, on this one, was seeing Barça clinch the title in La Liga. I think this is a squad that's like really beautiful to watch. They didn't do great in the Champions League, but like Lamine Yamal kind of filling Messi's shoes, them building this squad around this young guy who's hitting stats like Messi was at that age of 18. I mean, I think it's pretty awesome. So those are the three that stuck out to me in Europe. You guys got any others? I don't know.
Yeah, Cruz Azul.
Espérame. ¿Quién quedó campeón en la gloriosa Liga MX?
There is this team that they ride trains. They think they construct things too. They think Cruz Azul, Los Cementeros, and they beat my Pumas, which is the best team in Liga MX. Not really in the standings, but in my heart. But that's the reality. We didn't make it, Chiva. And rumor has it that I'm going to have to shave my head because I'm my
No. There's no rumor.
There's no rumor. I will have to shave my head.
Somebody here promised.
You'll see me with a new look very soon, my friends. Very soon.
Hey, can we make a call? Can we make a prediction right now who's going to win the MLS?
Yes.
Oh, actually.
Okay. To win the MLS. Whoa.
Because look, we got the World Cup break. Like, let's call it now before we take this break because we still got all the way when?
I like it.
Until October?
You go first.
And then I got some champions from Central America that I want to
Okay.
Oh, right, okay. I can't even say it with a straight face. LA Galaxy.
Oh my God.
Let me dream.
Okay.
Let me dream.
Oh my God.
Let me dream. We're gonna get into the knockouts. We're gonna barely get into the playoffs, and then we're gonna win. I don't know.
Okay.
What am I supposed to say?
It's on tape. We'll have the receipts. Chiva.
Chiva.
MLS. What's your prediction?
My prediction is going to be the final is going to be Miami versus LAFC, and LAFC is going to win.
And then we go to the reverse.
Miami's gonna win
Yeah.
against LAFC.
Órale.
All right,
Son is
LAFC,
gonna
Miami.
he's gonna end his contract after that.
Wow. Wow, el brujo. No,
Well, I'm going to speak as a true journalist. I think this season is going to be all about no other, my friends, than Vancouver. Vancouver will be the champion of MLS. They have been so close. They're still one of the most dangerous teams in the West. And if those guys get on a route, they're going to take advantage of it, and they'll be unstoppable. So that's what I'm saying, guys. But now, back to champions.
Sí.
Let's go to Central America. Chiva, who won in Central America?
Hermano, I just want to give a shout out to los fanáticos del Facito, el FAS de El Salvador. They won their 20th title, now being the number one, con los más campeones en El Salvador, arriba de se me olvidó el equipo.
¿Alianza?
De la Alianza, correcto, de la Alianza, porque ya está el Águila también. Pero bueno, FAS from El Salvador winning the championship, and then we also got Motagua. Usually Olimpia is the one winning the championship in Honduras, but Motagua was el campeón this season. Y en Guatemala, el Municipal. Guatemala está de rojo, pintado de rojo, because Municipal won the championship again. Man, Centroamérica también está con todo.
Now, the season is over. There's going to be a lot of movement in the offseason, a lot of soccer to watch during the World Cup. What are we expecting to be the big news around the world? Let's stay in CONCACAF. Are we seeing some massive names, European names, coming to play in our region after the World Cup? Do you guys feel like it is time to see more players in their prime choose to come in Mexico? Because we've seen a lot of champions, world champions, going to play to Liga MX. Are we going to get more world champions like Ortiz in MLS?
A lot more. We expect a lot of more players that have not necessarily European, but that have played in Europe, coming to MLS. I think MLS, after the World Cup, is going to change the dynamics of what we have seen from MLS. There's a lot of names, and Griezmann is going to Orlando just to begin with. So we're definitely going to see more names. To Mexico, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a lot of players coming from Europe to Mexico. I know that from South America, of course, there's going to be some signings for America that really needs it. Pumas needs some players too, and of course, Cruz Azul and Pachuca and all of them. But I do think that after the World Cup, Mexico, Canada, and the U.S., they're going to bring some big names because they want the league to grow more.
And it might go the other way. We might lose some players. I know that players are precious few talented, solid players on the Galaxy. For example, Peck is getting a lot of interest from European squads. Hope that doesn't happen, but hey, it's a two-way street, which is a good thing in another way too, right? It shows that we're producing talent that others are interested in.
But then we also have the cases like Ricky Puig, who he was in his prime in Barca, and then he went to Galaxy, and
then he got injured twice in a row. That's what happens if you go to Galaxy. But we have to go on a break. My friends, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on LatiNation Football Club. And we are back here on LatiNation Football Club, and we are going to close today's episode con todo, porque el reggaetón ha llegado to LatiNation Football Club. What's trending, my friends? We are here with Camila, with Alex, el Chiva Mayor, Nik Z, y su servilleta Marcelino Ortiz. We're going to break out everything that is trending right now on the internet. Guys, bring it to the onks right now. What's happening?
Go ahead, Alex.
Me? Okay. All I know is that some guy named the General is making music.
Wait. ¿Cómo que the General?
Yeah, the General.
El General.
Oh, wait.
Who?
I thought it was...
2 kilos de cadera, no es cadera.
3 kilos de cadera.
El General, baby. El rey del dembow, the creator of reggaeton.
Okay, why don't you guys tell us the story then?
El reggaetón está en el mundial, my friend. That's right. El General, el grandísimo reggaetonero, has dropped a World Cup anthem. That's right. El más sabroso, el más caliente, para que perreen duro mientras meten goles. My friends, this is the crossover that we were waiting for.
We were waiting for, but please, Mr. General, as Alex calls him, please stop. We cannot have Panama hyped up. I'm a U.S. men's national team fan, and Panama is always the thorn in our side. If we got El General coming back and hyping up the Panamanians, we're in trouble.
Without Diego Luna, even worse, bro.
We'll talk about that later.
Let's move on to the next one.
Don't get me started about Diego
He's in
Luna.
the World Cup, and Panama's probably very happy. What is also trending on the internet?
We have to talk about Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
Going to Barcelona for $70 million.
Are you happy with the signing?
Of course. I mean, I think he's a really good asset from Newcastle. This is a left winger that, is super fast. He's super dominating. And I think this is something that, it's not very necessary for Barca at the moment, but it's going to make a difference for sure.
Shiva, this is something that Barca normally does, right? They bring players that are not necessarily the perfect fit, but it's more like a defensive move, taking them out of the market, weakening their opposition more than what it's actually going to represent on the field. Do you like this signing for Barcelona?
I mean,
tu eterno rival?
Mi eterno rival. Me gusta like how Alex said, we don't necessarily need him, but
I mean, if you have
hermano, no ganar la Champions League en 10 años. Anyway, I mean, it's a good signing for Barcelona, I guess. They want to spend the millions, and then they're struggling con la corte y que no tienen dinero para pagar. But look, it's a player from Newcastle. It's a really good player that I hope that delivers well for Barcelona.
Speaking of signings, someone is back on the... Oh, you're going to be happy about this.
Am I?
Genaro Gattuso.
Ah, yes.
The former...
From the famous meme, sometimes may be good, sometimes maybe.
Yes.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
He is back at the bench after being sacked as the Italy
Coach.
PT that did not make it to the World Cup for the third competition in a row.
Yeah.
He got another chance. And
Yes.
he's going to coach again at Lazio.
At Lazio, a team that really needs a lot of help. Bringing in the former AC Milan legend who, led Italy to losing, not qualifying for its third World Cup in a row. I don't know how they're going to feel about this. If you're a Lazio fan, you're crying about Italy not making it to the World Cup, and then they bring the guy who didn't get Italy to the World Cup to coach your team that's like already on the ground in pain. No comment. We'll have to see. Maybe he's going to be great for Lazio, and it was just a tough World Cup draw, qualifiers. I don't know.
What else do we got going on, my friends?
Liverpool's very own Andy Robertson is signed to a new team officially.
Oh.
And it's kind of a questionable one because he's going to Tottenham Spurs. I think that this is
a questionable change.
This is not a good idea because this is a team that they just fought to not be relegated and barely with the last game. So I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily the right move for him, but I mean, he is ending his career soon, so
Para lo que te alcance.
It is the right move for Tottenham. They need players like him
Yes.
if they want to survive. They were minutes away from being relegated, something that I think we were all shocked about it. But, for him, it's going to be, sometimes players need that, need something like that to be able to improve and grow more as a player.
I agree.
Now, guys, one of the biggest stories in football right now is the end of Pep Guardiola's tenure as Manchester City coach. And it just has been announced that there's a new coach with the Blues, my friend. And from dark blue, he goes to light blue because Enzo Maresca, former Chelsea coach, is now at Manchester City. Alex, how do you like this?
I mean, it's weird because, Man City has been so used to having Pep for so many years. He is the GOAT when it comes to manager. But I think that this could be, you know, a new phase for City. We'll see if maybe.
I was going to say that sometimes you need just that new energy. Chelsea did just come from winning the Club World Cup, so it's not as if they're hiring a bad coach by any means.
Now, when you look at Man City on paper, this is a team with so much amazing talent. They have no business not making it, you know, further and winning the league or doing better in the Champions League, for example. They should be really up there in all of these competitions, and they're not bringing it despite having Haaland and everybody else.
That is correct. And my friends, with that, we have to say goodbye for the show. My friends, I have the whole squad, and we want to say goodbye before we go onto the World Cup break. We'll be around, don't you worry, but we have to focus on the biggest competition. But we'll be right back here on LatiNation Football Club with the whole gang. And we'll see you next week right here on LatiNation Football Club.